There is. There are. There is. There are. We use there is or there are a to state that some situation is real, exists. There is one pencil on my desk. There are 5 kids playing in the backyard. B. To state negative information. There isn't any dog in this house. There aren't any apples in the kitchen. C. To ask for information about someone or something. Is there a kid watching TV in the living room now? Are there any trains to London this morning? There is. Countable. 1. We use there is for singular, countable nouns. There is one butterfly flying. There is one backpack on the floor. There is. Countable. More examples of using there is with singular countable nouns. There is one cat on the roof. There is a girl holding the American flag. There is. Uncountable. 2. We also use there is with uncountable nouns. There is some honey in this jar. There is some meat in the fridge. Note, uncountable nouns is always single. There is. Uncountable. More examples of using there is with uncountable nouns. There is a lot of salt water in the ocean. There is much sugar spread on the table. There are. Countable. We use there are only with plural countable nouns. There are 6 t-shirts hanging from the rope. There are clips in the clip holder. There are countable. Other examples of there are with plural countable nouns. There are 14 pencils in the box. There are 24 students in this classroom. There's. In informal writing and speaking, we can use the contraction there's instead of there is. There's one apartment for sale in my building. There's some milk spread on the floor. In formal English, however, we cannot use contractions. Formal English. There is some milk spread on the floor. Note, we can never use a contraction for there are. There are few students in the library. Using some. With plural countable nouns, we can either give the quantity or use some, if we don't know the exact amount, or if for some reason, we don't want to say numbers. Example. There are some sheep on this farm. I don't know exactly how many sheep are there. Using some. Other examples of some with plural countable nouns. There are some sailing boats in the ocean. There are some notebooks on my desk. Using some. We also use some in positive sentences with uncountable nouns. Examples. There is some orange juice in this jar. There is some money in this wallet. We form the negative form adding not after is or are. 1. Negative form, singular. Countable. There isn't a pencil on my desk. There isn't an egg in the fridge. 2. Negative form, singular. Uncountable. There isn't any milk in the fridge. There isn't much coffee left. 3. Negative form, plural. Countable. There aren't many dogs in the park. There aren't any apples in the basket. 1. We form the question form by placing is or are before their question form, singular. Countable. Is there a house for rent on my street? Is there a student in the principal office? 2. Question form, singular. Uncountable. Is there sugar in my coffee? Is there any money in my wallet? Is there a lot of luggage to check? 3. Question form, plural. Are there any potatoes in the kitchen? Are there a lot of books on the shelf? We can use any or no to do the negative after there is or there are. 1. Examples, countable, singular. There isn't a laptop in my backpack. There is no laptop in my backpack. 2. Examples, uncountable, singular. There isn't any homework to do today. There is no homework to do today. 3. Examples, countable, plural. There aren't any cats in this room. There are no cats in this room. There is. There aren't any or no. We can use no before singular countable nouns, plural countable nouns, and uncountable nouns. There is no freezer in the kitchen. Singular, countable noun. There are no students in the classroom. Plural, countable noun. There's no coffee left. Uncountable noun. Note, do not use there isn't any with singular countable nouns. Use there isn't a or there isn't an. Examples, there isn't a freezer in the kitchen or there is no freezer in the kitchen. And not, there isn't any freezer in the kitchen. There isn't an Italian in my class or there is no Italian in my class. And not, there isn't any Italian in my class. We use how many with are there when we want to find out the number of objects that exist in some place. Examples. How many dogs are there in the park? How many students are there in your class? How many countries are there in South America? How many Star Wars films are there? We can use there with all tenses of be. We usually use with a, an, some, any, no, much, many, a lot of, and other indefinite words. There won't be cookies at the party. There was a book left in my desk this morning. There isn't an apple on the table. There were some cakes left at the party yesterday. There aren't any people on the street today. There is no music class in my school. There isn't much sugar left in the sugar pot. There were many poor people in the 16th century. There have been a lot of road accidents this winter. More about there is, there are. There and verb to be. We don't usually use there is or there are with the definite article the, or with proper names Alice, Peter, Sarah, etc. There is an apple in my bag, or there's an apple in my bag. And not, there's the apple in my bag. There is a man on the train, or there's a man on the train. And not, there's John on the train. Question tag. There is a mistake in this exercise, isn't there? Yes, there is. Or no, there isn't. There aren't trains to London this morning, are there? No, there aren't. Or yes, there are. Thanks for watching.